What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld Podcast. Today we're going to be taking a look at Week 17, 2022, and it was a very, very crazy Sunday. We're going to start off with the Eagles and the football team. Obviously, it's the NFC least, so it doesn't really matter, but it did matter to the Eagles as they pulled off something that, I don't know, I thought the Washington football team would play them a little bit, more tough. It was like a, nip-tuck game going on throughout, but, the Eagles end up winning it, and they clinched a playoff berth, and it's kind of weird because now, with the NFC least, you got two teams, right? You got the Eagles and you got the Cowboys. And after what the Cowboys did, the Cowboys have a really, really bad way of showing people and their fan base that they're getting better. They have a really, really bad way of doing that because every time they think that they're doing something they're supposed to be doing, they end up doing something they're not supposed to be doing. You see how that works? Like everybody is talking, it's a lot of talk, but then it's always the same outcome. Everybody is always doing something. Cowboys this, Cowboys that. They're ready, Super Bowl bound, stuff like that. And then they lose in very, very wild fashion. So I don't know how it's going to work, but I don't see the NFC East doing anything coming out, as far as playoff contention. So I'll go ahead and leave that the way that it is. The Rams and the Ravens. All right, so this one right here was pretty tough on the Rams. The Ravens were actually winning the entire game throughout the whole, It was pretty much like, the Ravens had this locked even without Lamar Jackson, and they still were able to go ahead and give up the game to the Rams. And to be honest, Stafford didn't look good early. Cooper Kupp with the 1,800 yards, he surpassed Isaac Bruce for the most reception yards in the season in the Los Angeles Rams history. That's so weird because at that time with Kurt Warner, they were like, what was it, the greatest show on turf? It was a really, really wild situation that was going on there. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. I don't know if you guys remember back then, those two receivers, they were really, really good. But, congratulations to Cooper Kupp. And Matthew Stafford has done that for two receivers now in a single season. One, obviously, Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer. And now we're looking at Cooper Kupp. So that's pretty cool. But the Ravens are really, really bad without Lamar Jackson. And I got to be totally honest, I used to like Huntley, the backup quarterback. I think he's garbage now. It's just something that's weird about him. So I'll go back and just say, look, you know what? I'll take Lamar Jackson. The Buccaneers and the Jets. In this game right here, Antonio Brown did something I've never seen in the history of watching football. He quit during the game as the game was actively going on. And that actual scene, I believe, is going to be the last that we see of Antonio Brown in the National Football League because I think it's pure embarrassment. The coach had no choice. Bruce Arians had no choice. BA is like, look, he's no longer a Buck. It's very, very simple. You can't do anything else about that. But Tom Brady did come back to beat the Jets in a game that many people thought the Buccaneers would actually lose because they were losing the entire game. But again, Antonio Brown, I would say that, they should probably try to get him help or whatever like that. But I think teams have already done that. And Tom Brady gave him that last possible chance. That was his last lifeline. I don't really see any way possible that man will ever play in the National Football League again. So, that's pretty much my point of view on it. You guys can let me know how you feel about it. But the league, the Shield and all that stuff, they always say you can't embarrass the Shield. Well, that was utter embarrassment. The Dolphins and the Titans, I gotta be totally honest, the Dolphins suck, but I give the Titans credit because once Derrick Henry, once he went down, I didn't think they would be able to do this. And they clinched the AFC South for the second straight season. So they were defensively, they dominated the Dolphins. They only gave her 3 points, but, Ryan Tannehill was able to do just enough. They ran the ball. Obviously, it's not Derrick Henry, but they have a really good offensive line, so that worked out very well for them, and they were able to go ahead and, pull out the victory. And I can admit when I'm wrong, bro. I did not think they were going to be able to do this. I was like, that Derrick Henry is the team. And don't get it twisted. They can't go into the playoffs and win without Derrick Henry. These are just regular season games, and the Miami Dolphins are not that good, so nobody really cares. But the playoffs are starting in a couple of weeks. We'll see how that works out. The Jaguars and the Patriots, well, this is just embarrassing. And for the first game, you know what it is? They put up that little record where, Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks, and it's really, really bad for rookie quarterbacks when they play Bill. And, overall, when I was watching this, I'm saying to myself, Trevor Lawrence sucks. And I've never said that throughout the entirety of the year. No matter how bad the blowouts were, I never said it. But the Patriots made me say it about him. Now, I know he's young, he's going to get better, but he made some really, really bad decisions. He was literally throwing the ball directly to the other team for a very, very long period of time throughout this game, and it was very annoying. And I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that. I really still think that he can be a decent quarterback in the league, but he looked so bad, I was disgusted to watch him. And that with that happening, it's usually really, really bad. Because even with some of the other rookies, I don't think that they've really performed in that way to where I say like, yo, that guy really, really sucks. You know what I'm saying? But he got that yesterday. The Raiders and the Colts. This was a very impressive win for the Raiders. I thought the Colts would win this because, you know, obviously their playoff hopes lied in the situation. Jonathan Taylor did surpass Edgerrin James for the most yards in the season for, Indianapolis history. You guys remember those Peyton Manning teams with Edgerrin James? But regardless of the history, they lost to the Raiders. So that's pretty much what it's all about right now. It's that part of the season where it's all wins and losses, right? So at this point, with the way that everything is shaping up, we got to see what happens for Week 18. But there's going to be a lot of people getting eliminated from the playoff contention, and, you know, somebody will jump in. The mathematical formulas are real stupid. But the bottom line is you win, and usually that's all you need to do. So right now with the Colts, we got to see how it works out for them. The Chiefs and the Bengals, I got to tell you this right now. Jamar Chase is a nightmare on Elm Street. No Freddy Krueger, bro. The dude had like 200-plus yards. He was doing whatever he wanted. And the Chiefs fought very, very hard. But what's interesting is this. We're going to be able to see how Tyreek Hill eventually gets overshadowed by Jamar Chase. That's pretty much what's going to happen. I don't know if you guys were looking at it like, yo, Tyreek Hill dropped a wide open catch when the guy was near him, but he still could have caught it. He had it in his hand and then threw it on the ground like a savage. With that situation right there, when that happened, I looked at it and I'm like, Jamar Chase during the preseason, I don't know if you guys remember, he was dropping a lot of wide open passes. And then, I was like, yo, we got to wait to see. I don't like that he's dropping it, but we got to wait to see. And he started the year off just catching the ball like very, very consistently. What that tells me is he's putting time into his craft. With that speed and being able to catch like that, that is a very dangerous combination. And I think we're kind of seeing what's going to happen because Tyreek Hill is still a little, he's still dangerous, but Jamar Chase is a little bit bigger than Tyreek, and I believe he's almost just as fast because you can't stop the guy. He's just running right by you and doing whatever he wants. So that's something that we got to be concerned about going forward, but that's a tough loss for the Chiefs when they could have easily sealed the deal right there. The Giants and the Bears. Now, the Giants are an embarrassment to themselves and their family. That's not something that we know that already. But when you get beat on like this, 29-3, it becomes it's like something to where, okay, so what do we need to do? We got to fire everybody, the janitor, like everybody that's in the organization has to go. Because there's no reason for them to be this bad. And, I just don't know how to feel about them going forward. I still do think that Saquon Barkley is a good piece for them. But Daniel Jones and those guys, injuries, this and that, it's a lot of different things going on with the Giants. Maybe they have to move on. That might be the best case scenario for them because I think that if they continue to do this, ownership is just going to go down there and fire their whole staff. So I think that to be smart with it, it's going to be a complete revamp of the Giants going into next season. That's just my opinion about it. Jumping into the Falcons and the Bills, Josh Allen gave the Falcons every opportunity to beat them. Okay? Josh Allen was throwing picks. He was doing whatever he wanted. He was playing Madden. I don't know what he was doing, but somehow, some way, the Falcons were just trash enough to go back and give the game to them. And again, with the way that it is, I don't trust Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan is he's like that budget quarterback that you put into your lineup in fantasy because your main guy is out. Like that's when I think about Matt Ryan. And yes, I know he has an MVP, but so does Cam Newton. And that guy sucks right now. So we have to look at it based on what they're doing. We did see Kyle Pitts. He went out. And he had like a hamstring thing, but he came back. Regardless of the situation, there were a lot of plays that were left on the field. And the Bills obviously needed to win this game, but the Falcons made it a little bit more tough on Josh Allen playing great defense. So that was good to see, to be totally honest. That was really, really good to see in that situation. But again, Matt Ryan, I don't know how much longer they have left with him, but more than likely they'll probably bring him back. I don't think they should, but it is what it is. The Falcons are just playing around and just doing. They're not going to win anything with Matt Ryan at quarterback. Texans and the Niners. This game right here, the Niners coming out, Trey Lance, we're looking at a whole new offense. I know a lot of you guys that had Kittle in fantasy were raging because he only got 2.5 points, and it was disgusting to watch. But, Debo got that touchdown late, and the Niners got the win. So, if you're a Niner fan, you're looking at it like, all right, we still got a chance to go out here and make plays and do stuff like that. So that could work out for you guys. But we all know the Texans are trash. So I'm not going to go ahead and praise the Niners with the situation because, the Texans are not that good. And Deshaun Watson needs to go. Again, I've been saying that since week 1. We're in week 17 now. He might need to leave. Just get him off the team because he's not helping by being on the sideline. So we're going to have to take a look at that going forward. I think the Texans will be much better when he's not a cloud over the team. But Trey Lance looked pretty good. I saw a lot more boot action. Straight QB runs. He got smashed up a little bit too. So I don't know if they want to let him keep getting hit like that, but I see where they're trying to go with that young man. It might work out for the Niners. The Broncos and the Chargers. So everybody wanted the Chargers to lose for different reasons so that other people could get into the playoffs, but Herbert wasn't having it, and he was just throwing lasers all game. So the Broncos, right? Again, we make fun of Teddy Tapwater. I know he went out with the crazy hit, whatever like that, but realistically, business-wise, he can't come back for the Broncos. Regardless of what his contract is, he has to just go, like they have to get someone else, and I think that they will be very, very formidable if they just get anybody else other than him. And I know it sounds harsh because he had that injury, but I'm just talking on the business aspect of it. It doesn't really make sense to bring him back as a quarterback because the Broncos defense is good enough, in most cases, not yesterday, but in most cases to win games. And I think they're only going to get better. Patrick Surtain, he's a rookie, bro. He's only going to get better. So I think that they have to move forward. And speaking of like getting over, quarterbacks that were supposed to be good or whatever, we go to Panthers and the Saints. Cam Newton. He went over there, supposed to be a reunion with the Carolina Panthers. Now you got dudes starting over you. Like, are you like what? Andy Dalton? Oh, not Andy Dalton. It's the other guy. It's the other quarterback. Was it Sam Bradford? No, not Sam. It's one of those other guys. I don't even know the guy that's starting. Like it's a guy that shouldn't be starting over him. I know I got one of the names right, but regardless of it, he's coming in on certain plays where he's like a gadget guy, like a Taysom Hill. Like what is he doing? I don't even know what he's doing. At this point, like he should just go and just leave. Because I don't think that the Panthers will bring him back either. And where is he going to go? Everybody's seen what's happened. The thing about it is once Bill Belichick lets you go, they're like, all right, that guy's a loser. Regardless of how good you are, Bill Belichick releasing you before the season started is not a good look for Cam Newton. So, the Saints get the win. They fought hard. That was a beautiful thing to see. We'll see how it works out next week as far as win-loss. But the Panthers are terrible. And Cam Newton has to go as well. They have to start moving on from these quarterbacks. Seahawks and the Lions. This game right here was very, very aggravating because DK Metcalf all of a sudden was just a savage. So pretty much he went throughout the entire year being a bust as far as fantasy points and then went crazy. And then pretty much cost a lot of people their championships on one side of the ball. He either helped you win or he made you lose throughout, whatever. And, the Lions, I don't know what they were doing because they beat, a decent Arizona Cardinals team dominantly and then they lose to the Seahawks. So that's the way the NFL is, and that's why I really don't know which way a team is going because I didn't see this. They gave up 51 points, bro. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Like why would you give up 51 points when you just beat a team that you weren't supposed to beat, and everybody's saying it was a fluke. So now we all know it was a fluke, and it's like any given Sunday, that whole stupid thing. Then you jump into the Cardinals and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys were running their mouth all week. The owner was, Jerry Jones, obviously, he got a lot to say. Everybody's talking. And they could not stop Kyler Murray. Defensively, they were horrible against him because he's so little and fast. But like I said, I like, even though he's injured here and there, I think he's going to be pretty good for the Cardinals going forward because he has the arm strength. And for the most part, he can make plays regardless of the situation. So I like him going forward. Some of you guys were asking, what about him and Tua? I don't think you can't compare him to Tua. I think he's much better than Tua. I think he's like light years ahead of Tua. But the Cowboys early on didn't play well. Dakota Prescott, he didn't play well. Looking at Zeke, he wasn't that good. They had everybody out there. They had the Lamb. They had everybody going crazy. But, I think the Cardinals just played well. Isaiah Simmons with that huge sack, that really turned the game around. And, it was a strip sack. So, they tried to come back later, but it didn't really matter, and they ended up losing. And then finally, we go to the Vikings and the Packers. Now, everybody has had a lot to say about Aaron Rodgers and all the things surrounding him. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to win his second MVP in a row. I don't think there's anybody else that's shown that they could come back. They just clinched the number 1 seed last night, and they beat the brakes off the Vikings. And I know Cousins wasn't there, but you got to give the Packers credit because game 1, I think they got dominated by the Saints or something, and everybody thought they sucked, including me. I actually tweeted it out. But now we're looking at a guy that's going to be the 2-time MVP. And he's proof of it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And again, the Packers, we may see another deja vu where the Packers have to play the Bucs again in the championship game. But I feel like the Packers might win now simply because the Buccaneers are not what they were last year and everybody's in shambles and there's a lot of injuries. So we have to wait to see how it unfolds for Week 18. I want to thank everybody for listening. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.